Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. It is October 31st. It is Halloween. Hope everybody's going to have a great, fun Halloween. Uh, oh, I see a crow sitting up in top. I see a bunch of crows. Wow. Um, yeah, we're going to have our normal people around here for, not here in my building, but around town that are going to do their Halloween stuff. And we just hope everybody else has a good Halloween day. I'm trying to take my notes here in order so I don't get as lost as I was the other day. And looks like everything. Can you guys hear me and everything? Can you see me, hear me? Hello, William. Hello, Darren. Just before the live stream started, I was listening to music, like I sometimes don't. Yeah, it's Friday. Gotta have some fun in life. I was listening to Bob Seger, Understanding. And then the Traveling Wilburys. I don't know if a lot of people, if you've heard of them. Well, I haven't heard them, a lot of them till lately. But the song that I've gotten addicted to is by Traveling Wilburys, End of the Line. If any of you haven't heard that song, go listen to it. I like it. It's kind of neat. And then Steve Earle, Copperhead Road. I haven't heard of Steve Earle, God, in years. And then I stumbled upon him about a couple of months ago. But I was just browsing for music to listen to, and I saw this Steve Earle, Copperhead Road, and I think, I wonder what that's like. Wow. That's another good song. But anyhow, that's enough of the music part. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, the big subject of the title of this live stream is Windows really as bad as people say it is? I hear a lot of people just griping about Windows. And I just. End of the line, fantastic ensemble. But yeah, they are good. I do like them. Yep, Bob Seger. Yeah, okay, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, and there's Tina Turner. There's a whole bunch of Tina Turner. The song I like from her is the best. The best. Simply the best or whatever. Yep, Tom Petty was in it. Roy Orbison and Harrison. Yeah. I could sit here and just give you name after name and after name of music that I sometimes get crazy with. And like just before the stream started, I turned up the bass, turned up the volume, and rattled everybody's walls for about a half hour or so. And I only do that for an hour or so, then I just turn it off and I wait 5 days, then go back at it again. And people around here don't seem to mind as long as I don't do it every day. So I can do over 100 watts of bass. So yeah, it can shake some windows. Yeah, Roy Orbison. Roy Orbison. I'm not a big fan of. He was. I don't know. He had some music. He had some music that was okay. God, I can't even read my own writing. Oh, yeah. I was gonna go back this Windows stuff. I don't know. There's some things that I wish Windows wouldn't do, but it's the thing that people are complaining about is the privacy on Windows. Um, I don't know why, because if people carry a cell phone, that phone is listening to you. It has I think what it's called, Hey Google or something. So I don't know. Yeah, I just find it a little odd that people on YouTube are belly aching that YouTube is taking their privacy away, and everything. It's not that it's taking your privacy, but I think it's more of data collection. And really, data collection really isn't gonna hurt you all that much. They're not. What's that floating through the air? I mean, they're not really spying on you to do mischievous things. They're just, I don't know, getting your general location, getting information off of your Microsoft account if you have one. But I see a whole bunch of people going into the Windows services and into the registry trying to take out everything that they think is going to collect data or it's going to spy on them. So they have video. And that's the other thing that I think YouTube might be stopping, because there's a lot of people that are just, when they set up Windows, they go into these certain areas and just turn things off. And I mean, they can do that, but and there's not really a lot that I do. I think I keep location turned on. There's something else I keep turned on that everybody turns down to a minimum. I can't remember what that is, but I have mine turned on for. I can't remember the name of it. I have to look it up, but I don't know. It's just a little odd to me that people are just not liking Windows because of what Windows does. But unless you're doing something illegal or doing something really stupid, Microsoft doesn't care. They don't care where you are. They don't care what you're doing. They don't really care what you're saying. But a lot of people out there are just, they're not for it. They say they don't want to be spied on, and they don't want their information they have on their computer taken back to Microsoft. And I think that has to do with recall, but I know it takes a snapshot of your desktop every 10, 20 seconds or something like that. It's not like they go through your history or anything. They won't do that. And I know a lot of, see, I clear my history because I have people around here that use my computers, and I know a few like to take a peek at the history. They'll say, "Oh, I wonder if Rick had seen that website," so they'll go through my history for the last month. So every night, I just clear it. I clear the history so that people over here around here can't get into my history and say, "Why are you going to that website? And what's this about?" Say, you know what? I just clear it every night. It's not for privacy reasons. I'm not really. I mean, I am a little bit on privacy, but not as hardcore as everybody else. I mean, there are some people that just go completely overboard on the privacy stuff, and I'm scratching my head thinking, yeah, why? Unless you were the guy. This is a story I wanted to talk about. The DOJ made an arrest. You remember those fires in the Palisades? I found out this morning on one of the This Week in Tech. No, Intelligent Machines, I think. Yeah, Intelligent Machines. Leo was saying, watch what you say to ChatGPT, because with this guy, what's his name? John Ritterneck, or whatever his name is. was federally charged with the destruction of property by the means of fire. And what he had done before, and the DOJ is considering this evidence. John prompted ChatGPT to make a picture of a burning forest fire and people running from it. The DOJ is using that as evidence. So again, if you're doing criminal things like this John guy did, the DOJ went and looked up the records for his ChatGPT, and sure enough, they found the picture of what he had made on ChatGPT. A forest fire, a real bad forest fire, and seeing people fleeing from that fire. The DOJ, when they took him to court, if they haven't already, they're going to use that as evidence. And of course, they're going to say that judge is probably going to be kind of curious as to where'd you get that information from? His ChatGPT. I don't know if I had to get a warrant or something. He didn't say anything about that, but they went through the records of his ChatGPT, and that's pretty much what got him in trouble, because then they're going to use that as evidence when they took him to court, because he had prompted ChatGPT to make a forest fire, a real bad forest fire, and people running from it. The guy, I guess John said he was burning up some brush, and I guess they said he just walked away from it and just left it unattended. And well, in California, if you know those real bad winds, Santa Ana winds or whatever you call them. Jeff, you might know what I'm talking about. The winds picked up that brush fire. He had a real small brush fire or whatever, and burning up some brush, and he just intentionally, I'm thinking he probably just walked away from it, or the winds got it and he lost control of it. But I guess he intentionally set the fire and just on purposely didn't do his due diligence to take care of it, make sure the fire didn't go anywhere. But the ember started flying. I don't know. He was just being an idiot, and the winds picked it up and just everything caught on fire. And before he knew it, he had several acres on fire. And after that, he had 20 acres and 30 acres, 50 acres. And I'm thinking, God, what the hell did you think you were doing? You just don't set forest fires like that and just walk away from it. Or a brush fire. Hey, Long Dog. Oh, let me catch up with Long Dog. He's writing paragraphs again. I gotta scroll up a little bit. Being aware and then finding out new things really damages trust. Usually one document is insufficient to establish fact. However, it may be circumstances or even secondary. Yeah, I don't think that's the only thing they used against him. I think there's a whole bunch of things that they collected on him. And I think he also admitted it. I think after they hammered on him long enough, he said, yeah, okay, yeah, I made a fire and didn't do anything to control it. And that was his mistake. He should have sat there. What he should have done is not do it at all. When that area is so dry, and it was a bad idea for him to do that. Santa Ana wins. That's kind of what I was thinking. My tongue was getting twisted. Well, you're not gonna see it. It was kind of Long Dog. It was kind of. I wish I could go back and watch that again, because I'd tell you exactly where to see it, and I didn't write it down. I was in bed, laying in bed this morning, and I have several shows. I have like 10 shows that'll play through the night, and I think I can't remember, it was on 3 or 4 that I did wake, and that's why I wrote it down, because that's what he was talking about. Whether and anything on the internet, I'm going to take as it might be true, it might not be. Because Leo sometimes likes to stretch things. He isn't exactly truthful about what he heard or what he read. He adds his own words into it. But if he's saying it comes from the DOJ, I don't know. Somebody would have to find. I think he read that article on Rolling Stone or something like that. And he didn't say the date of it, so I don't know when all that happened. And yes, William, I'd have to agree with you. Windows isn't all that bad. What gets me is, some people are saying that Windows updates screw their computer. And I've seen a lot of people on YouTube saying that their Windows computer, they did an update and it screwed up their computer. The only way that can really happen is if you have a whole bunch of settings turned. If you have messed with your Windows 11 to the point where it can hardly operate, and you've removed things or shut things off that technically you're not supposed to. When Windows updates comes around and it can't find the things it needs to, yeah, it's gonna do funny things. Sometimes it's not their fault but a lot of times I think, at least around here and people I've talked to in other states that call me and they say the Windows update is screwed my computer and now I can't use it. I'm never using Windows again. The first question I ask them, the very first question is, what did you add to that computer, or what did you remove, or what did you shut off in the last 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months? And they'll try saying nothing for the first 2 times, and I keep saying, really? Let's try this one more time. What did you do to your computer? Did you add something, take something off, shut something off? Well, yeah, I might have turned off the telemetry services. They might have turned off other services. They might have gone and turned other things off, or they add some kind of sketchy hardware to their computer, so that when Windows updates sees that, it's going to see it as an abnormally. It's going to see something it's not supposed to be there. Yeah, that's going to cause problems. The only reason that people like me, Carrie, Holzman, and other people don't have problems with our computers and never have and probably never will is we don't mess with it. I don't add things I'm not supposed to. I don't go into the registry. I don't go into the services. Yeah, it'd be fun to try to experiment with some of that stuff, but um, really, in reality, it isn't good to do that. So now, you change things and you shut things off, thinking it's okay, until Windows updates comes along, and then it tries to look for something so it can get that update to work like it's supposed to, and you've got that service or whatever turned off. Of course, the computer is going to flake out. Of course, it is. Now, there are some chances. There are some people that do have normal computers, and especially in offices, that sometimes maybe an update glitches on something. Not that often, but yeah, maybe once in a while, I'll give an error message that the update couldn't be completed or started because of, and it will tell you they don't understand it because there's a bunch of numbers and letters, and they'll call me and say that error, the Windows update on whatever update it was, had an error because it will actually tell you in red letters. what that error was, and they just call me because they don't understand it. Well, I look at it and say, oh, that one. Get out of your chair. I'm going to sit down. So I go back and I adjust or fix or do whatever I need to get that update to work. And some updates don't. There's a bunch of reasons that I could get into as to why Windows updates fails. And hello, Charlie. Rabbit holes. The hell are you talking about, lawn dog? It's bad enough all those distractions that a person gets hit up with when open up their opening page on the browser. All those radicals to chase. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice to just not have to think about your operating system and how to get something done? Well, I don't know about that. You get something done when you get into your car, you know. Well, yeah, they've changed Windows. They've put things in different places. You know, but that's why people are like me around. So if you can't find something in Windows 11, you just call somebody or write somebody a note. Say, I'm trying to find this, trying to find that. Basically, Windows 11 is Windows 10. And Windows 10 is the operating system before it. All they're doing is adding a coat of paint over it. But when they do that, they kind of shuffle things around. So they rename things. They've got things done differently, and there's another concept. You have all the tools organized. They are where they should be. You know where they should be. You know where they are. And then one day, tools got moved around. Well, yeah, that was kind of a given when Windows 11 came out. People should have known that. I did. They also did the same thing with Windows 10. If you hadn't noticed, some things in Windows 10 kind of get moved around and shuffled around. I think that's kind of the enjoyment of Windows 11. You know, it's if you have a mind like I do, finding where things are at is kind of a challenge to some people, and they don't like it. I do. I don't mind sitting in the chair for a half hour trying to find something. And then once I find it, I'll try to remember where it's at. You know, it's more steps to get to someplace, but if you're a guy like me that likes to tinker with things, and you know, I tinker with things at home, not at work. But this, some people like me kind of enjoy it. You know, you kind of get irritated because it's not where it's supposed to be, and you say, "Oh, good God, where they move it to now?" And you kind of look around the operating system. You'll eventually find it. Some updates, and Jeff, some updates do cause problems because the PC has unusual combination of hardware, not because the user messed up. Well, in most cases, because of the user screws up, from the people that I know of, because they're tinkering with it. Yeah, usually hardware can sometimes cause it. And that's what I was saying before. If you've added things or taken things out, sometimes the Windows updates are not going to recognize it. But no, I always blame the user. I always have, I always will. No matter what people say. If you're doing things to your computer you are not supposed to be doing, and your computer screws up, that's on you. And I always tell people that, you know, the customers I go talk to is like, if they've got that thing so foobarred out of where it can't function, I'll just look at it and say, what have you been doing for the last couple of weeks? What did you take out? What did you remove that I don't think you should have? Well, I took that program that was in there and I did something with it, and I just roll my eyes at people and say, why did you do that? Well, I thought it wouldn't hurt anything. That's the issue. You thought it wouldn't hurt anything, and it did. Well, now that it's broken, can you fix it? Yeah, and the guarantee and the promise you won't do this again. Leave it alone. Do your work and only your work, and leave the rest of it alone. Don't be adding things that you're not supposed to. Don't be going in here taking something out that you don't want there. The computer is not yours. You do not own it. Leave it alone. Just do the work at your job that you're supposed to and forget about it. A lot of people around here can't do that. They just gotta mess with something until they break it. And a lot of times we don't add hardware. At least I don't add a lot of extra hardware or change hardware a lot. Once that computer's built for whoever, it usually stays that way. It's a lot of the home users, I think, that just they want to tinker with something until they break it. And then I get a phone call and said, well, I took my computer apart and now I'm not sure really how to get it back together. Why did you take it apart? Because I was going to take it to a technician and have him fix it, but I figured I thought I had to take it all apart before I could do that. And I said, no. Oh. Oh, well, that was a lovely day trying to put her computer back together. There was parts missing I had to ask her husband for. I said, do you know where this is? Do you know where the cover to this is? Do you know where this... And he said, no, I don't know what she did with all that. Okay. So I did get it back together, and I did get it running, and I charged her for it, and she wasn't too happy about it, but she's never messed with it again. She's left it alone. And I told her, I said, you want this computer to work the way it's supposed to, leave the damn thing alone. Just do your... She was going to college at the time, and I told her, just do your college work, do whatever you need to do, and leave. Don't be messing with it. And she still doesn't understand why she thought she was having problems when it was actually something she was causing. And I told her that. I said, you know, in some cases, some of the problems come from people screwing with things. Leave it alone, and it'll work fine. I'm a prime example of that. I've never had a problem with my computer. Never. That's since Windows 8, 8.1. Windows 7, yeah, I kind of disobeyed my own laws, and I was always tinkering with it, and sometimes I did break it, and if I broke it, I fixed it. It's kind of neat. It's kind of nice that you can do that, and same thing with car mechanics, truck mechanics. They're driving their own vehicle or driving the company's vehicle or truck, and it breaks. Hey, they know how to fix it. Yeah, I wish more people would think the way you do, Jeff. Things are annoying in Windows and the interface, but you'll get used to it. I wish there was more people that would think that way. They don't like it, but they'll get used to it. Oh, long dog. So what does it change if a person knows that the things are going to be moved around? That doesn't change or make anything better. It just makes things more time consuming. Not really. It's not, maybe for you it is, but I pretty much found everything I needed with Windows 11 from the first time I used it. And I knew they'd move things around, but like Jeff says, you get used to it. It's a little annoying, but you know, as I've said before, I've said my own choice words about Windows and moving things, but I'll eventually find it. I think you're expecting everything to happen instantly. Well, in today's world, long dog, things don't work that way. I sure wouldn't want them to work that way. I mean, things do take a little bit of time to figure out. It's not an automatic thing. It's not an instant thing. You know, if you want to go looking for it, it does take a little bit of time. So spend the time in looking for it. Don't just say that I'm not going to use it because it's not where I wanted it. You know, if you want to find something, go looking for it. I don't know why you wouldn't have the time to do that and say it's time consuming. Everything's time consuming. Everything you do takes time to do. It's just the way of life. Something you're gonna have to start getting used to. And again, I don't attempt to sound so negative. I'm just saying what has been said about the operating system by many, many people. Well, yeah, those many, many people are starting to turn around. Because they're starting to get used to, my God, Lawn Dog. It's not the first time we've not been happy with this new and improved structure along with its rounded corners. What's wrong with rounded corners? I don't understand why that bothers you. I think there's something more wrong with you if you're complaining about windows and it's rounded windows. That's nothing to complain about. That added a little bit of pizzazz to it, to be honest with you. To me, it looks a little bit better, a little bit fancier, a little bit. I don't know. I kind of like what Windows is doing. By the way, rounded corners. You know the computer has to do more calculations to make those rounded. No, it doesn't. Because Microsoft designed it that way. So it doesn't change. I don't think it really affects the computer at all. If anything, I think it would make it better. That's what I've heard from other technicians that I've talked to. And I've talked to Carrie about it, and I've talked to other YouTubers. I've talked to people in town. The rounded corners, Long Dog, is not a problem. And efficiency, well, if consume computing and more computing power, just an efficiency concept to think about. Well, I don't think about efficiency. I never have. I never will. If you take your computer apart, you let the smoke out. Yeah. There's some people that have experienced that. And I also know, Brian, that there's people that have tried to get into their power supply. And I just, well, if they're going to try taking their fan out or something, and I just immediately stop them. I said, no, don't. Yes, there are ways to discharge it where it won't hurt you, but most people don't do that. They just take the power supply out, open it up, and they start pulling on things and taking things out. And next thing you know, they've got burnt fingers and they get shocked or burnt or whatever because it's got its charge of electricity in there. So I always urge people to just don't mess with your power supply. If you think it's doing something funny, the best thing to do is just replace it. Because I'm not one that replaces things. I don't repair things. I replace it. If fan's acting funny, I don't fix it. I replace it. A lot of people don't like it that I do that, but oh well. I don't listen to those complaints where people are saying, why can't you fix it? Why do you have to replace everything? Because in some cases it's cheaper to do it that way. Unless you want to sit there and have me charge you by the hour while I fix something, while you can just go to the store and buy a new one and have the new one installed before I get done fixing whatever you want me to fix. It'd be cheaper just go out and buy a new one. They gripe about it, but they usually see the light and they go to Best Buy or whatever and they buy a new one. Same thing with keyboards. People are asking me, can you fix my keyboard? No. You're better. The best thing to do is go back on Amazon and buy a new one. Oh, taxing your computer. Long dog, long dog, long dog. Half the stuff you're talking about, people don't even notice. I don't. I don't see anything taxing my computer. My computer works just fine. There's nothing. There's nothing bogging it down. Windows updates doesn't do it unless you wait long enough, and then yeah, you're gonna start seeing a little bit of slowness because you haven't paid attention to Windows updates. It will start doing things so that yeah, excuse me, it'll start nagging you in its own way because it'll just start pulling on your computer resources, and pretty soon pages aren't opening like they should, and you see that little circle with the orange dot in it. Well, that's kind of telling you they want you to do the Windows updates. That's why I only wait 4 or 5 days, and then I do the updates. It's even less than that. I only wait maybe about 3 days. Because Microsoft's just trying to say that they've done a lot better on the updates, and the updates really shouldn't cause you problems. I'm trying to take faith in that, so I'm kind of backing down the clock of when I do the updates. Usually 2 or 3 days, or if I have time. If I'm busy, then I won't get to it, but in most cases, I'll have someone else come up here and just hit the update button and tell them to install it. So usually maybe 2 or 3 days I'll wait, but not even that. Mostly 2 days, and on the third morning, I go in and do the updates. Could you imagine 90 degrees roundabouts? The more windows you have open with your pretty rounded windows, eventually it all adds up. It all adds up to what? I've had hundreds, not hundreds, but I've had 20 windows open, and then all the tabs up at the top. I don't. Oh, Long Dog, I don't understand you. I think you're starting to complain just to complain. You know, in the opposition you are very comfortable with and had learned all the ambiguous about it. That took time. No, it didn't. It didn't take any time at all. At least for me, it didn't. Now I toss a new operating system that you've got to waste that time again. I'd love to be paid for this waste of time and learning process and the process of discovery. Oh my god, Long Dog, you're really stretching it out there. The more windows you have open? No, that's not true. Yeah, your 36 minutes just reminded you were asking for. Yeah, I'm gonna let it go here in about a couple of minutes. I'll go to 240. Just trying to get through all of Long Dog's talking, and he hasn't stopped yet. Again, probably not explained the best way. You think severe farms and the infrastructure all have these pretty rounded corners and pretty colors? Not in their world. Oh, all right. The makers of Metaform also love Halloween. Yeah, sure, that's true, RM. Because people have Halloween stuff and they eat all that candy, all that sugar. Yeah, I'm sure that does affect them. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to go here for about another minute and a half. So if you got anything else you want to say, now's the time to say it because I'm not going to be here for too much longer. I've got other things I want to do besides sit here and read Long Dog's paragraphs. And that other thing you said on Ken's live stream about that thing about Windows, I can't remember what you were talking about. You were saying it's a waste of time. No, it isn't. It isn't a waste of time. It's not bothering anyone else but you. So Yeah, I like Windows 11. It's not bad. It's actually a lot faster than what Windows 10 was, and it does things a little bit more quicker than Windows 10. They have improved Windows 11, but on the interweb, the YouTube, all I'm hearing is negative stuff about Windows, and kind of getting tired of hearing about it. But yeah, guys, it is 2:40. I'm gonna say goodbye. I do want to thank everyone for being here, and that is Long Dog, Ski Man, Long Dog, Brian Lightfoot. Thank you for being here. RM, a lot of Long Dog in here. Jeff, Charlie. God, Long Dog. My God. MJ, thank you for being here. And everybody else has been here. If I did miss your name, sorry. I'm just trying to quickly go through chat and trying to wrap this up. And MJ, you're calling me Slick Rick. I would ask you to stop saying that. I really don't like that name, so don't be calling people names. That's not a good thing. Whether it's good or bad, you know what my name is. Call me by my name. Don't be adding other things to it. So with that, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. I hope everyone has a great Halloween. Have fun. Stay safe. And today is Friday. So there will be no live stream tomorrow, because tomorrow is Saturday. So I won't have a live stream tomorrow. But I will have one on Sunday. Look at the calendar here real quick. See when Sunday is the 2nd. So I'll see everybody on November 2nd. And until then, bye for now, folks. God, Lord. See you guys later.